In the second video, I figured that what we'd do is we'd take it from the installation that we had done previously, and we're going to extend upon that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a server with that odd domain name that I created, Wappler Beta Testing 25.com, and I'm going to take that, add an FTP account to that server through cPanel. I'll show you every step of the way what I'm actually doing, and then finally we'll go into Wappler and we'll try and hook up to that FTP server, and hopefully if all successful we'll be able to take it from there. Okay, so let's start. I'm just going to clean up a little from where we left off last time. Close that down and eject this. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to launch Wappler for that. Okay, let's do a last system check because it's the first reboot that we've actually done, or not even reboot, it's the first time I've quit Wappler since we've added in all the applications, etc. I'm going to quickly just perform a system check and make sure that all those installations are done correctly before we find problems with anything else, and it could be related to that. Okay, that all looks perfect to me. Notice that I have put on the debugging little symbol over there, or little button, and that's just to make sure that any errors that do come up we catch as soon as possible, and I'm able to go to the community and tell them in the most obtuse possible way what the error actually was. Just want to start up Safari, and I'm going to start setting up my WHM server, which I spoke to you about earlier. As I said, I've got a dedicated server with one of the hosting providers, and so fortunately I can just go and quickly make this fake domain, Wappler Beta Testing 25.com. Just going to copy that out of here quickly, and go back to Safari, and we'll quickly log into my dedicated server. I may have to blur out some of these fields or something. Don't personally see why the web address would be a problem, but yeah, let's just get this going. So this is my dedicated private sort of server that I use for hosting all my accounts. Let's log in here very quickly where you can't see that. It's a rather horrible password that they've given me to use. Bear with me a moment while I get this in here. Definitely save that so I don't have to do that one again. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to go and create a brand new account. For anybody that's got a WHM server, you will know what I'm doing here. I'm going to put in the fake domain name that we spoke about earlier. Obviously this does need a .com at the end. Let's just add that in. It will auto choose some random username. I'm just going to put in a easy password. Okay, now I can't. It's too weak. I'll just put in something a little bit better than that. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, strong. That little pop-up that comes up is from a program I run called 1Password, or it could even be part of Safari at this point. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I have both of them coming up and winding at me constantly. Putting in an email address here that I'm blanking out, or will blank out. Package I'll put it on as a Solver Pro because in the end of the day I'd like to add FTP accounts to this package. I would like to add MySQL to it, databases, etc. So I can try and hook up through Wappler and make sure that everything there is working. Okay, that all looks correct to me. Let's create this account quickly. I will probably have to take away this piece so you don't see too much of the back end. Let's see. Okay, that looks fine. Sure. Okay, I'll try and actually log into WapplerBetaTesting25.com, which obviously won't go anywhere. As I said, it won't resolve on DNS because it's not a real thing. My service provider does have a like a virtual hosting environment in which I can go to and just make sure that the actual account itself is working, as long as I have the IP address for the physical server itself that I'm running, as well as the domain name that I've chosen. So let's see here. Okay, IP address. Let's quickly go and put that into the preview environment. And this would normally be how I would show my clients how far their job is before it's actually done. And most of the time it will be with fake domains, because in the end of the day, a lot of my clients come to me with websites that are already existing, they're already online out there. I want to develop a new website on the exact same domain name as what they already have, and I don't really want to go through a whole migration process. So I'll do a fake domain name and then I can shift it across on the server. What I'm going to do now is, now that I know it's working, I'm going to go into the terminal and pretty much add an entry into my hosts file. So that first command, sudo space -s, is going into super user mode. The next command, I'm going to use super user mode, and I'm going to go into nano, which is a text editor, and go into my /etc/hosts file in order to add the IP address and then a space, and then the actual domain name, even though it's obviously the fake domain name. So let's quickly just add this into here. Make sure I get the exact right IP address. Let's pop this in here and populate this quickly. 4.0.7.2. That'll be Wappler testing. Wappler testing 25. I'm going to use Control 0 to actually write that out to the file, and then I'll just exit out, quit out of the terminal, and now it's within my hosts file. When I refresh this web page now, it will in essence work exactly like the preview environment. And all I'm seeing is the directory structure. After I'm finished developing, I will use my htaccess file on my Linux server and make sure that it can't do directory listing. Okay, so let me just check here through Wappler. This is a new beta that I've just downloaded, so I haven't really gone through it as yet. Everything seems to be as it looked before. Just checking where everything is. Wappler beta testing. Want to see what programs are actually linked to this, or what DMX zone extensions are linked to this, so I can see what this is capable of. Yeah, I see that there's a lot more database related stuff, which is what I was looking forward to. Options are still coming soon. Okay, so let's go to the project settings. That is obviously the frameworks area, which I don't think I'm going to set up until such time as I've got a remote server set up, the FTP server, to be honest with you. So let's just go and prepare for this. Before I do this, I better go and create an actual FTP account within the cPanel of my server. Log into. Want to download CyberDuck, because if I do have any form of issues with hooking up on the FTP side through Wappler, I just want to make sure that whatever FTP details I put in are already known to work and everything is 100% before I blame anything unnecessarily on program error, and actually it's something else not working. Okay, I'll leave that downloading, and that should be fairly quick. Let's go to my cPanel now. We're going to quickly add an FTP account. Now, I know most people may just use their own pre-existing FTP account. I mean, if you've just had a brand new server setup, in general, it will already have its initial FTP account, like a root FTP account sitting there. Personally, I don't generally like to use the root FTP account. Don't know exactly why. It's just a practice that I've been doing for years. And so I would rather go into the server and create a brand new secondary account with my own name and my own password chosen, etc. Just put all this in here. Need a fairly hefty password, I'm sure. Let's get something good in here. Hopefully something I remember. It's all great. I'm going to take that directory out of there rather. So everything links up to the home directory rather. So that account is created. Go into CyberDuck quickly and we'll just enter in those new details and ensure that we can actually get a physical connection back to the server quickly. Sorry, it is the first time I'm running the new CyberDuck on this virtual box, so it's just asking me a few of the initial startup questions. That's great. So TP address here. 421 is fine. I don't need to use SSL or anything for this particular thing. I'm just trying to remember how I named that actual FTP account. I can call with uppercase S, capital S at the end. Put that. I'm going to put it into the public HTML directory. Within CyberDuck, I would normally put in the beginning / as well as the trailing /. Try and make a connection. Password. Okay, DNS failed. I must have the domain name incorrectly done. Sorry, it's Wappler beta testing, not just Wappler beta test. I'm going to have to edit this quickly. Correct. Should work. Unsecured is fine. Okay, and we're in there. I'm just going to create a new folder in here because every server always has the CGI-bin folder, well, every Linux server anyway. So I'm just going to create some random folder in here. So once I hook up through Wappler and I get a directory listing, I can actually see if that folder exists and not just CGI bin. So 100% certain. Okay, we are going to create a new project server. I'm not sure if this needs to be with or without spaces. I would rather have it with spaces, but after the forum post I spoke about in the earlier video, I figure I best just be on the safe side. And we'll be on testing all works FT. Okay, don't use space to try and link up a drop down box. You're going to have to physically click it. So, testing 21 is fine. This username is a bit of an odd one because if you were using the default account on the actual server that the cPanel would have installed with, you could literally just write in the name itself, like Paul S. and nothing else afterwards. If you create a secondary account on some servers, most of the time you need to put in the entire address. So it's the whole Paul S at wapplerbeta-testing25.com. Otherwise, for some reason, it doesn't work. The remote directory, I'm gonna always start off with the /public_HTML. I think, as far as I can recall, in the last one I had to remove the trailing /, so I'm going to rather try it like that first to see. And hope for the best. Okay, that looks brilliant. Yes, there's my funny named directory that I've created, so everything looks like it's working. In the next video that I'm going to create, I'm going to make a MySQL server basically, or a database on the cPanel server, and from there I'll try and hook up to the MySQL. I have seen on the forum many people having problems hooking up to it, so I'm going to give it a bash and see how we go. I'll see you on the next video.